Yo, welcome back to another episode of Fight Bloodline. I'm your host, Cash Money, the paper taker, Mr. Take Your Chinny Chin Chin. And we're back, off our 2-week layoff. I will be going over this here in a second. But yeah, matter of fact, no, let's get into it right now. I'm truly sorry. And, it wasn't my co-host, nothing, it wasn't none of their faults, it was all mine. But basically what happened these last 2 weeks, I've just been really, sick. I don't got the best lungs. But I was, throwing up for, at least, 4 to 5 days, 1 week. And then the next, just wasn't feeling great. And, just life and everything. I got stuff going on. I'm obviously got lots of work to do. Sure, I don't like to talk about a lot about my personal life on the show and everything, and especially here on live. But I'm truly sorry, I just had, just life. I hope you guys can understand that. But from here on out, we will be more consistent. But first, this will be the covering for the recap for Izzy and Piper, and also Moicano and Duncan. I did my picks and everything for it. We just never really got down to doing the show because, I wasn't feeling great. And I was super busy with just, life in general. And I apologize again for that. That's really, freaking been messing with me recently. But from here on out, I promise you guys, we'll be more consistent, and merch is coming soon. I am telling you guys, we are this close to merch. So for all you gotta do to enter our thing to get some free merch is like and comment on this video, and we'll hit you guys with some free stuff. I'm not releasing what our merch is gonna be, but this is gonna be the start of it, and going towards the future, obviously we'll grow more. And yeah, I feel like we got a great card today. But basically for the Izzy and Piper rematch, I did watch the fight with Be Ready 303 and Rampage Dro. And, it was, Piper was just looked really good, he was just, he was landing on Izzy in that first round, but I thought Izzy looked really good. At least for the first round before he got finished in the next round. He was picking his shots, he was timing his shots really well. He was a lot quicker than Piper. He was stepping in and out. He was hitting them and not getting hit. But Piper, man, that was just the performance the second round. And Izzy also kind of just did step away from using how would I describe it? He didn't stick to the game plan. He started trading with Joe Piper, and that's what got him hurt. And then Piper was eventually able to drag him to the ground, get the back mount, and just pound him out for the finish. But, yeah, it was a pretty good fight between those two. I saw the Moicano one, too. Not as great. He's trading partners with Chris Duncan. Wasn't really surprised by the outcome. I did go Chris Duncan. So excuse me, for my picks. So, for the Izzy card, I took Izzy Adesanya. And I took Macy Barbers with my 0-2 for the main card. Or at least those two fights. But for the rest of the card, I believe I hit every single fight. I will be posting our picks. You guys don't have to believe me. It's fine. I know it looks like I did my picks after, but I'm telling you guys I did it before. You could ask Be Ready. You could ask Red Pedro. We all did them together. And yeah, and there's actually a fight going on right now. I just really it took me a little bit to set up all this. Charles Radke and Francisco Prado are currently fighting as of right now. I'm telling you guys, tell the truth, I'm not watching the fight right now. I swear. This is just hooked up to my computer. And it is 3:49 right now, April 11th. So, I'm not watching the fight. Right here, it's just my picks. You kind of see it in the mirror. Or not my picks, but to where I can see the fights. For this one, I went Charles Radke. But I'm not even going to count it just because you guys, most likely, oh, blah, 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 blah. He didn't do this fight because he started the show a little bit later. My bad. I've been busy. So, yeah. That's basically all I wanted to go over. The Moicano card I did pretty decent. I believe I went 11-2 for that card, and I lost in the main event. I also took Chris Duncan. But yeah, I did really good for that card. Well, without further ado, let's get this show started, shall we? So I've been a bum recently and slacking off, but we got a welterweight bout between Charles Radke and Francisco Prado. Charles Radke is 11-5 in his MMA career, and 3-2 in his last 5. Compared to Francisco Prado, 12-4 in his MMA career and 1-4 in his last 5. I went Charles Radke on this one, I feel like he's a more well-rounded striker. He's pretty good everywhere. And Francisco Prado is just on the sliding down on his career as of right now. you know, he's good. He has a lot of power, but I just feel like Radake's quicker. He's just the better fighter overall, and he's gonna just pick him apart and get a. I took Radake for a decision, but I mean, I feel like he's got the skill and talent where he can win this fight like any way that he wants to. So give me a domination by Radake for sure. But moving on next, you know, I do want to go watch the fights. We got a lightweight bout between Marquel Medeiros and Chris Padilla. Marquel Medeiros, excuse me, is 11-1 in his MMA career and 5-0 in his last 5. Or 11-1 in his MMA career and 5-0 in his last 5. Compared to Chris Padilla, 17-6 in his MMA career and 5-0 in his last 5. And he did miss weight by 3 pounds, so I don't respect that. Either way, he made weight or not, I want Marquel Medeiros. He's a lot younger. He's more hungry for the win. He's a young buck. He's quicker. His kicks are a lot faster as well. So you know, that's why I'm taking Marquel Medeiros by a finish. I think he's gonna go in there and clip him. But you know, you can't count Chris Padilla out. He is a crazy guy, and he's gonna go in there, try to make it a dogfight, but he's gonna get clipped in the early rounds, I believe. That's why we're going with my dog, Marquel Medeiros, by TKO. Anyways, moving on next to one of the big fights on this card. We got a middleweight bout between Kelvin Gastelum and Vicente Luque. We got Kelvin Gastelum 20-10 in his MMA career, the -230 favorite, and 3-2 in his last 5. Compared to Vicente Luque, the 195 dog, 23-12 in his MMA career, and 2-3 in his last 5. This one is gonna be a banger right here. You know, we got, you know, I did go Kelvin Gastelum for my pick. Just because, you know, Vicente Luque, he's already sliding down the hill really bad right now. He also has a lot of brain damage and, like, brain bleeding. So, he just, like, and if you look at his last recent fights, like, I believe he is coming off a decision loss to that one guy from Spain, not Ilya, but the Yoel Alvarez, that's his name. And, yeah, you know, I mean, it's going to be a good one. Vicente Luque didn't look great in that fight. And, you know, compared to Kelvin Gastelum, he looked somewhat good in his last fight. I know he still lost, but he definitely did better than Vicente Luque. He actually fought back against, I believe his last fight was against Joe Pyfer. Joe Pyfer just put the beats on him. I don't think Joe Pyfer finished him. And, you know, Yoel Alvarez didn't finish Vicente Luque either, but Vicente Luque just got his ass kicked for 3 rounds compared to Kelvin Gastelum. He only got his ass kicked for 2 rounds, actually fought back. Compared to Vicente Luque, where he just takes the beating the whole time. But that's where we're going, Kelvin Gastelum decision. You know, I think he's just generally a better wrestler. He doesn't give up like Vicente Luque. And we have a good shot of seeing a double retirement if it's a dog fight. You know, both of them are, no, I wouldn't say they're both 34. But they've been in UFC for, like, so long now. Like, Kelvin Gastelum has that crazy fight with Adesanya. Vicente Luque was the top of the welterweight rankings at one time. He was doing really good, and then he just sort of fell apart, you know? And it happens to the best of us. But still, I'm going Kelvin Gastelum for a decision. Just a more well-rounded striker and wrestler. He also is, like, if you look at his takedown averages, 1.1. It's pretty high, especially going up against a kickboxer like Vicente Luque. So give me Kelvin Gastelum for a decision. Here we go. Here's a banger. We got a lightweight bout between Mateusz Gamrot and Esteban Ripovic. Mateusz Gamrot is 25-4 and -165 favorite, and 3-2 in his last 5. Compared to Esteban Ripovic, the 145 dog, 15-2 in his MMA career and 4-1 in his last 5. Coming off some pretty good wins as of recently. And most of those were dog fights, especially the one he had with Daniel Zellhuber at UFC Sphere. Actually, it's called 306, but Sphere, same thing. Compared to Mateusz Gamrot coming off a loss to Charles Oliveira in a very, I believe it was a short notice fight. I believe he stepped in for, I want to say it was Max Holloway. Who he stepped on short notice for? I forgot. Oliveira was fighting someone. I'm gonna keep it real. Who was it? I think it was it Max? It was a while ago. Oh, god damn it. Who was it? It wasn't Benoit, wasn't Patty, wasn't Oliveira. It wasn't Holloway, it wasn't Gaethje. I'm trying to think who else was in the top 5 at the time. It wasn't Islam. It wasn't Taporia. I know it was short notice, but I can't remember who Charles Oliveira was fighting. This is killing me. I gotta find out who it was. I'm sorry, folks. This is embarrassing. Let's go, Charles Oliveira. Let's see. Here, how about we just do this? Watch, I'm gonna get it, and I'm gonna just get so mad at myself. Yeah, well, Rafael Fiziev, I remember that. God damn it. I forgot about that. I forgot. Oh, I don't know. That guy's irrelevant. These guys ass clip by Marcel Roofing. So I don't want to hear it. I'm sorry, guys. Going back, I just really wanted to know that. But yeah, we got we got lightweight bout between Mateusz Gamrot, 25-4 in his MMA career, 165 dog, and 3-2 in his last 5. Compared to Esteban Ripovic, the 145 dog, 15-2 in his MMA career, and 4-1 in his last 5. Coming off some pretty good wins. Mateusz Gamrot is actually one of the only fighters to beat Arman Tsarukyan in the UFC. And that's why we're going with Mateusz Gamrot. Give me the man himself. I feel like he's just just a way better grappler. He's also a training teammate of Dustin Poirier. And Mateusz Gamrot, he did get destroyed in his last fight, but he's also fighting former champion and current BMF champion Charles Oliveira. And Charles Oliveira just beat Max Holloway, one of the probably best fighters in that division as of right now. So you can't really blame him. And this will be a big test for Ripovic, Going in there, dogfight. He's going to try and make it a dogfight, but Mateusz Gamrot is smart enough, I believe, to use his fight IQ. And he'll take him down more than he usually does, the Dan Hooker fight. But only issue I see with Mateusz Gamrot, he lets his ego get ahead of himself, and he makes it look like he's a striker. And every time he's done that, he's, lost. He thought he had a freaking ego going up against Dan Hooker. No, he got a dogfight with the wrong dude. Just, because Dan Hooker goes in there just blah, 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 blah. And he tried doing that. Pretty sure he got dropped and cut open really bad. And Oliveira let his ego get ahead of him. Thought he was a better grappler. Got tapped in maybe 2 rounds, was it? 2-3 rounds? I don't remember off the top of my head. It was a while ago. But you can't also count Esteban Ripovic out. Ripovic is a really good striker. Walks forward, down to get down. And he's quicker, has more power, but I just feel like the wrestling's going to take over here. So give me Gamrot either by a sub or a decision. Oh, need some water. But here we got a featherweight bout. This is part of my 3-pick parlay. We got Patricio Pitbull, 37-8 in the 250 dog. 2-3 in his last 5, going up against Aaron Piccolo, minus 300 favorite. 13-5 his MMA career, 3-2 in his last 5. Me personally, I'm going Aaron Pico on this one. I just feel like he's a dog here. He's under. No. He's the favorite here for a reason. And Aaron Pico, you know, the last fight with Lerone Murphy didn't go his way. He got mildly embarrassed in front of a big old crowd, and I believe it was Chicago for the Duplessis Shamaev card. But you know, he just rushed in, and you know, I feel like he's more focused now. He's also fighting a 38-year-old Patricio Pitbull. Like right now, if this fight was in Bellator, it'd be the biggest fight in history. But on UFC Fight Night, this is a prelim. Because these guys, you know, they both, like McGregor said, Bellator ticks, you know, Chandler, Pitbull, Pico, and MVP. But I feel like this is actually going to be a really good grappling fight. Like, if you're big into the grappling fights and, like, the wrestling, this is the fight to watch right here. I feel like Aaron Pico's just a dog. So is Patricio Pitbull. But Aaron Pico, look at his last fight against Lerone Murphy. For that first round, he was dominating. He was slamming Lerone Murphy. Like, his wrestling looked really good. Just ran in at the wrong time to shoot the double leg, get him on the fence. And Lerone Murphy came back with that elbow and slumped him. But he's going to come back way better than ever. Patricio Pitbull's already too old for this. I believe Aaron Pico's striking is a little bit more better. You know, he's quicker. He's got a little bit more power also, I believe. The only reason that I would say Patricio has a chance is because his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is really good. He also did knock out Michael Chandler in Bellator. But beating Michael Chandler is not much of a flex as of recently and back then. You know, he's just... I wouldn't say he's the best fighter. We're just going to leave it at that. Yeah, Aaron Pico, dog. I feel like he'll get this one by decision or sub. And, you know, he's a dog. So, dogs do dog stuff. He's going to go in there. He's going to wrestle the shit out of him. And dominate. Moving on next, we got a welterweight bout between Kevin Trailblazer Holland versus Randy Rude Boy Brown. Kevin Holland's 28-15 in his MMA career, the 120 dog, and 2-3 in his last 5. Compared to Randy Brown, the 140 favorite, 20-7 in his MMA career, and 3-2 in his last 5. Kevin Holland is coming off a decision loss to Daniel Rodriguez, where he took a bunch of knockdowns, and one of the craziest fights I've ever seen. Compared to Rude Boy Randy Brown, the 140 favorite, 20-7 in his MMA career, 3-2 in his last 5. Coming off a knockout loss to Gabriel Bonfim, which I thought was kind of stupid. It was not stupid, but it was questionable. Because it looked like they both knocked each other down, but I guess he got caught with the knee. And, you know, it's very complicated, but, you know, we'll get into that later. That was amazing. That was like one of the greatest things I've ever drank in my life. Sucks, I'm out of water now. But yeah, for this one, I went Randy Brown by KO. Give him my dog. And also, I think Kevin Holland's a quitter, man. We've seen him in that fight where he got kicked in the nuts like 3 times. And he just gave up. I mean, realistically, I would too if I got kicked in the balls that many times. But like every fight, he like loses the first 2 rounds and then he just gives up. Like he acts like he doesn't care. And that's why I'm not going with him. You can't go on somebody who quits. Like Max Holloway said. Or what was that? It was like a video from when he was like 16. He was like, you're a certified loser if you don't even try. That's what Kevin Holland needs. And plus, Randy Brown, like, he has so much power. He's long. He's got these really good knees and kicks. I believe he has the skill set to go in there and take Kevin Holland out. So give me Rude Boy by KO. Oh.
Getting a degree is important to me because...
Yeah, getting a degree, yeah, very cool. Yeah, very tired. I'm being such a bum. Okay, we got a featherweight bout for the last fight, retirement fight, for Cub Swanson versus Nate the Train Landwehr. We got Cub Swanson, 30-14 in his MMA career, the 120 dog, and 3-2 in his last 5, coming off a knockout win 2 years ago. Compared to Nate the Train Landwehr, the -140 favorite, 18-7 in his MMA career, and 2-3 in his last 5. Guys, this was a hard one for me to pick. I'm going Cub Swanson. I think my guy Cub, you know, he's old. So is Nate the Train, though. And, you know, he still carries a bunch of power in his last fight. he knocked that dude out cold. It was bad. Like, I believe it was like a left hook with like more of a right hand. But the way he hit him just shows that he still has a lot of power. It's his retirement fight in the great Miami, Florida. Like, come on, guys. Come on. Like, he's a crazy guy. So we're going Cub Swanson by KO. Respectfully, I love Nate the Train, but he just walks forward. He's going to walk into a KO. And Cub Swanson's going to he's going to sail on his boat. With his last fight being a knockout win in Miami. So, hats off to you, my bro. What a great career of Cub Swanson. I love that. We had to, we finally, we got a legend on our show. Not like on our show, but we got to break down his fight. Like, one of our first episodes is Poirier's retirement fight against Holloway. So, that was pretty cool. We got Cub Swanson on here. I want to do a McGregor card. We almost did a John Jones card. I've been an MMA fan since, honestly, the first ever event I watched was, all I remember is because it was like the first one I ever watched. You guys gonna say he's lying and all that. But you can ask my dad and everything. It was, it was like 2014, I want to say 2013. Believe it was Demetrius Johnson and somebody. I watched him upcoming. One of the first guys I ever watched was McGregor versus Brimage. And I just went on from there. So, I've seen Cub Swanson. This is his last fight right now. I'm watching his whole career, so hats off to him. And we're going by a KO. Moving on next on our another fight, we got a strawweight bout between Tatiana Suarez and Lupita Godinez, but she also goes by Lupi. We got Tatiana Suarez, 11-1 in her MMA career with that one loss meeting to the champion Zhang Wei Li. Sorry, former champion. She went up to go challenge the second belt against Valentina. She's the 153 favorite, 4-1 in her last 5. Going up against Lupi Godinez, the 133 dog, 14-4 in her MMA career and 3-2 in the last 5. Coming off some big wins against Jessica Andrade, compared to Tatiana Suarez, who also coming off a win from Jessica Andrade. And two other, I can't remember who she beat last, her last two opponents. I believe it was Amanda Lemos, off the top of my head. We're going Lupi Godinez, the underdog here. This is also a part of one of my parlays. Tatiana Suarez, she's not a good fighter. Like, when I watch her fight, I genuinely question, is she, she's not good. She's not a good fighter. Her fight style is horrible. This is boring. She gets tired. She can't box. She doesn't strike. She just knows to take down, hold down. It's not good. Like, even her takedowns are good. That's why I think Lupi Godinez is, a well-rounded striker with good wrestling. I think she's going to control the center of the octagon. And she's not going to get taken down the whole time because she's also a really good wrestler. And Mexicans are tough. They don't go down without a fight. I think she's going to give Tatiana Suarez the hands and win this one by decision. Like, all 3 rounds will go to Lupi. Or either that or Tatiana Suarez will dominate. This is really a pick 'em if you think about it. But I'll be the freaking guy here that goes with the underdog pick with Lupi Godinez. And let's move on. Moving on to another big fight on the main card. We got the Goons themselves. We got a heavyweight bout between Curtis Razor Blades, 19-5 his MMA career, 145 favorite and 3-2 in his last 5. Compared to Josh Hoke, the 125 dog, 8-0 in UFC and 5-0 in his last 5, coming off a knockout, round 1 knockout win in his last fight. Let's just talk a little bit about this Josh Hoke guy. So, he's very weird, I think. And he's just a goon, to be honest. Like, he's, messing with everybody. He's, being weird with Laura Senko. Running around with the lightsaber. Telling Yuri he's going to chop his head off or something like that. As much as I want Josh Hoke to lose, Curtis Blades trains here in Denver. I've seen him at Factory X a couple times. Like, you know, Curtis Blades, I genuinely hope he wins. I took him for my picks. I took Curtis Blades by decision or a sub. Josh Hokic could go in there and knock Curtis out in the first round, which is, I believe, could happen. I believe, honestly, I believe in it more than I believe in Curtis Blades winning. So, this is a pick 'em you guys could choose. You know, I'm sure Hokic could go in there and knock him out. Curtis could go show that he's on a different level of MMA. Josh Hokic, you know, used to be a fullback for the 49ers a couple years ago. But this fight, it's just like the whole world's going for Curtis Blades, but I feel like the whole world also knows that God damn it. The whole world knows that Josh Hokic could go out there and just knock this fool out, which is I'm not hoping what happens. But yeah, he's something. He is something. But anyway, so yeah, I'll go. Can't choose. No, as much as I hate to do it, give me Josh Hokic by KO TKO. But moving on next, we got a light heavyweight bout between Ozmat Mirzakhanov versus Paulo Secret Juice Costa. Got Ozmat Mirzakhanov 16-0 in his MMA career, the 185 favorite, 5-0 in his last 5. Going up against Paulo Costa, the 160 dog, 15-4 in his MMA career, 2-3 in his last 5. I want Ozmat Mirzakhanov on this one because Paulo Costa is acting like a dickhead for no reason. And I don't know why he has such a big thing against Ozmat Mirzakhanov, but I think Ozmat should go out there and beat the brakes off him. He's undefeated, he's younger. Or actually, he's not younger. I'm tripping balls. It's the thing, because I believe Ozmat was around like 30-something years old. I think he's like 37 already. Paulo Costa's barely 35. Yeah, sorry, this thing, it's messing up a little bit because it also says the Brazilian flag's on Ozmat Mirzakhanov's side, that the Russian flag's on Paulo's. It's weird. But I can tell by the records are good. The odds are looking good. Last 5. I believe Paulo Costa's coming off a win over Roman Kopylov, I think. And then he had a couple losses to Whitaker and some other guys in there. Excuse me. Yeah, Ozmat Mirzakhanov is a really good fighter. Just like really well rounded MMA. He's coming off of a round 1 knockout over Alexander Rockage, I believe. And I will go on Ozmat by either a KO, TKO, or a decision. And Paulo Costa, this dude, he goes in there like he looks like a great fighter when he goes in there. But when you actually see him fight, like, he just either goes in there, has a really good fight, throws down, gets dropped a couple times, drops him a couple times, hopefully gets his hand raised, or he'll go in there and just get the freaking the stuff correct. Trying not to cuss, but he goes in there and get the shit kicked out of him every time. Like, go watch Strickland fight. Sean Strickland just, and then for like that last 20 seconds, start throwing all those crazy like flying switch teeps and like all the crazy stuff. Actually, I think he dropped Paulo on that one. And then Izzy, you know, I don't know if you guys have seen, but on Twitter and Instagram, Ozmat and Paulo have been going back and forth. And Ozmat had posted a picture of when Izzy defeated Paulo Costa in 2021, I think, by KO TKO. And he thrusted him while on the ground. We're going to leave it at that. And by thrusting, I mean like, blah. And Ozmat said, or Paulo Costa kept calling Ozmat like a fat ass, like Russian, you don't know what secret juice is. And Ozmat posted that, he said, you got effed on live TV. So, you know, a lot of beef between these guys. I don't know why Paulo Costa is more aggressive going into this fight against Ozmat. You know, he's usually more chill, more like shaky. I've seen the press conferences before. But, yeah, Ozmat, I also hope he goes in there and beats the brakes off of Paulo. But moving on next, so I was just reading notification I got on my computer. Ooh, how do you charge it? So my live keeps going. I forgot I had a live going on. There we go. We're still going. We're still going. I'll get to some of the questions at the end. We're moving on. We got a light heavyweight bout between Dominic Reyes and Johnny Walker. We're going with Dominic Reyes for a KO TKO here. I mean, it's really whoever lands the first jab here. Two crazy guys, you know, Johnny Walker being Johnny Walker. I'm trying to hurry up because the fights are on. I'm getting blown up in the chat about it. But, yeah, we got a light heavyweight bout. Dominic Reyes, 15-5 in his MMA career, the 120 favorite. 3-2 in his last 5 compared to Johnny Walker, the 100 underdog. 22-9 in his MMA career, and 2 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw in his last 5. Both of these dudes are coming off, well, Dominic Reyes is actually coming off a knockout loss, and Johnny Walker's coming off a knockout win in China. Dominic Reyes is losing to the guy who's fighting in the main event. I think Dominic Reyes can go out there and knock this fool out, either round 1 or 2, because Johnny Walker, before this, he was getting knocked out by everybody and their mothers, bro. Yeah, give me Dominic Reyes. He commented on one of our videos a long time ago, so shout outs to him. Much love. But, yeah. Now it's time for the main event of the evening. We got a light heavyweight bout between Yuri Prochazka and Carlos Ulberg. We got Yuri Prochazka is 32-5. The -135 favorite, and 3-2 in his last 5, compared to Carlos Ulberg, the 115 dog, 13-1 in his MMA career, and 5-0 in his last 5, coming off a knockout win from Carlos Ulberg, or from Dominic Reyes. And Yuri's coming off a knockout win from Khalil Roundtree, Alexander Rockage, and I believe Jamal Hill. There's only 2 losses in the UFC, being to Alex Pereira in the last 10 years. So give me Yuri Prochazka. And let's go for that. Because Yuri Prochazka is going to go in there, knock this fool out, go get his baby. And it's going to be the greatest fight. But you know, Carlos Ulberg is really good too. I mean, if Yuri goes in there and fights like an idiot and gets knocked out, don't be surprised. But I got Yuri Prochazka by KO TKO. I just think he's a better fighter. He's more experienced. This will be a big step up in game for Carlos Ulberg. But, man, it would suck if Yuri just got clipped in the second round by KO TKO, wouldn't it? But honestly, I got Yuri Prochazka by knockout. He's just more of a dog. And he's going to go in there. He can take it. He can take a hit. Wouldn't say a head kick, but he can definitely take a hit. But, yeah, this is going to be a really good fight. I want to wrap this up. I'll answer the best 3 questions. Yes, Joshua Van did pull out, but he's fighting on the Strickland card, so we'll get to that. Thoughts on UFC? Yeah, it's moving to June, I believe, and I will be attending that. I hope so. For the UFC X. I'm not really seeing some good questions here, guys. You're not feeding me. The 23 people in here watching. Thoughts on next weekend? It's not a great card, but, you know, it's watchable. Burns vs. Millette. I think this card's a lot better. Yeah, me too. Thoughts on Josh Hoke? Yeah, that dude's just freaking... He's a goon, and, you know... I hope the best for him, but he's a freaking cornball. He's weird. Okay, this has been another episode of Fight Bloodline. I'm your host, Cash Money, the Paper Taker, Mr. Take Your Chinny Chin Chin. And yeah, let's go for that. I'm a crazy guy from my village. And you know, that's my Yuri impression. So thank you guys. We were more consistent. I'm so sorry. And we out.